What's up YouTube, Jamiethekid00's here, coming to you guys with something that for the first time. A lot of you guys have been asking me to do a video of the misprints that I've had, that I actually have in my collection, because they featured in a few of my deck profiles, kind of time and again. There's been a few cards which I've had to play because I don't actually have playable duplicates of them. So you've seen classics like my Leviathan Dragon and things like that, and you saw others in my trade binders. So I was actually trying to come up with a name for this video, and this is actually in parody to a channel, a YouTuber that I actually watch quite a bit when he does these segments. He does a segment called Misprint Mondays. His username is GeneralPDW. He has an incredible misprint collection. Every other week he's bringing in more misprints from eBay or other suppliers that remain unnamed on his channel. And he's always got something new to show. So if you guys are finding this video looking for misprints, please go check out Paul at GeneralPDW. The link will be in the description below. He just reached number 40, and I figured I'd be doing this. He does a segment called Misprint Mondays, and I was trying to come up with some gimmicky name that didn't copy his. And there were some really bad names thrown around in my room between myself and Lisa the Raichu, along the lines of Fuck Up Fridays and What the Fuck Wednesdays. But I guess the working title will be in the description, in the actual title when this video goes live. But I figured I'd bring you a one-off section showing you guys the misprints I've accumulated. I definitely am. I don't consider myself an active collector of misprints, but I do bring in misprints when I can, when I find them in people's trade binders. And this is the small amount of cards I've accumulated over time, a lot of which you will have seen in other videos. So with that said, go check out Paul, and we're gonna get into the video right now. And the pineapple's going at the back because I want to talk about that last. So we're going to start off. I've tried to categorize these as best I can. We're going to start off with packaging errors. Packaging error misprints. Lisa the Raichu in the background is wrote me a sign saying ask them to come up with a name. So come up with a name for this if you want me to try and get in more misprints and do more misprint segments. Anyway, we're going to start with packaging errors. So we're going to start off with this Elemental Hero Absolute Zero. Some of you guys will have seen this on my channel before. This was a doubly crimped card from a manga. This was actually bound in two places in the manga. If you see on the top left currently, you'll see there is a grid pattern. And then on the left-hand side, there is a much finer pattern. Well, on the left, the grid pattern is because it was bound into the actual binding of the book. I had to pull this free. I think this was in a video where we had to pull it free, I'm not sure. And then in the top corner, it's much harder to see. Let me see if I can get it to focus. The problem with doing misprints is, there you go. In the top corner, that was bound into the actual packet or pouch the card comes in. So it was bound in two places, if you can see. It's at a right angle. The left-hand side over here was bound into the spine of the book, and then this side was bound into the packet. So it was a doubly crimped, so that was pretty cool. But otherwise it came out pretty mint. There's a bit of corner damage where we had to pull it out of the binding because it was glued in. But otherwise the card came out pretty much gem mint, which is pretty cool. So Absolute Zero, we'll move over there. In a similar vein, we have a Gauze, the Emissary of Darkness, which isn't quite as cool. He also came crimped into the packet, not into the binding of the book. He had a stamp mark along here. I believe there was meant to be more. No, I'm wrong. But he has this this stamp mark along the top here. If you can just see it, there we go. So difficult to do these packaging errors. And then otherwise, I'm only showing one representative from this because we had a whole pack, but I left the rest in Wales. I have a Mimic from a pack of Lord of the Tachyon Galaxy, and the whole pack was crimped along the top from Lisa the Raichu's box, but I managed to pilfer it off her. And if I actually hold it in the camera, kind of like this, you can see that it is very much crimped, which is pretty cool. If I can get it to focus in, it doesn't seem to want to because it's such a finite edge, but there we go. You can kind of see the zigzag pattern there. So that was all the packaging errors I have. I only have 3 of those. A lot of people don't really consider packaging errors to be misprints because, of course, they're not printed incorrectly. They were just packaged wrong. Same with things like miscuts. But there's still something that's a pretty cool oddity. It's something different from conventional damage. Now we're going to move into the actual things that are incorrect prints of cards. I didn't really have a category for the first 2, which we're going to talk about. And that's 2 copies of Goblin Attack Force. This is a fairly common misprint. I have a few doubles of some common misprints. But if you can see, as you can see with these Goblin attack forces, there is something wrong with them, and that is their attribute is listed as a level star. I think this is the mint condition one. I have one relatively good condition one very damaged one. I got these in very cheap. One was given to me by a friend, one I got for about £1. But if you can see, there's a... I'm sorry about the noise in the background, guys, but Lisa the Raichu is conducting trays in the background, so she's going through binders, but sorry about that. So you can see that the attribute is not an Earth attribute, it's actually a level star, which is pretty damn cool. This is a fairly common misprint in the Pharaoh's Servant Ultra Goblin Attack Force, and as you can see, it's the same on this one, but this one has some damage along here, but still pretty damn cool. But I didn't really have a category for this because I don't have anything else like this, except for I have a box worth of the Extreme Victory rares. As most people will know, the first run of the Extreme Victory rares had, I believe, Italian attributes. Their attributes were correct, but the wording was Italian, which is pretty cool. I can dig those out if people want to see them in a different video, but 2 Goblin Attack Force. Now I'm going to go on to incorrect names, or issues with names, and that forms the majority of my misprint collection at the moment. So we have one common charity. Now at first glance you won't really see the issue with this common charity, but if we hold it up to the camera, as we're going to have to do with almost every misprint, you'll see that its name is actually, if we can do it, prismatic, like that of a secret rare. If you can see, it's not exactly just like a rare. Well, I'm going to see if I can dig out a rare quickly. I don't know if I've got one. Let's have a look. But if you have a look at its name is actually incorrect because of the fact that it's been printed with a secret rare name. It's a lot easier to see in real life, but I guess we can try and compare it to this Leo. As you can see with the Leo, it's just a very bland silver. It doesn't shine prismatically, it just shines from grey to white. Whereas the common charity will actually shine, or should shine, prismatically. This is a part of a set of misprints from Tactical Evolution, and they vary in misprint in prismaticness. But you can usually get common charities, grass choppers, and all sorts of other rares from that set with this misprint. But it's another fairly common one. Another fairly common one. Most of my stuff is common. I don't have any of the real oddities. Another fairly common one is Dark Spirit of the Silent, from Labyrinth of Nightmare in both editions. One is first ed, as you can see. One is non-first. And both of the names are black. As you know, trap cards back in the old days were printed with white text. These are printed with black text, and it's something pretty cool. But you can find a few of these. I found these one of these at my local card shop. One of these with a vendor. Got these in for £1 each. It's pretty cool, but it's again something very, very common. Moving on to some of the more uncommon stuff, I guess. We have a copy of Jamiethekid00's, which I picked up a couple of days ago, and it's actually a double-stamped name. You won't really be able to see it much, but its name is actually double-stamped, and I know that Paul, General PDW, has had a similar issue with Cosmo Blazer cards with double names, but they had different names. This Jamiethekid00's, if you can actually see the words here, has its name stamped twice, because you can see a B here, I believe the E across the I, you can see the break there, the strike of the K here, the A here, the G there, the S on the U, and the H breaking across here. So you can actually see that Jamiethekid00's, the name has been stamped twice. So that's pretty cool, but that's one of the rarer things I have name-wise. Then part of a set which I'm going to start trying to build is the Dark Beginnings 1 and 2 sets. These are both from Dark Beginnings 1. DB 1 and 2 both are synonymous for having misprinted names. By getting the names wrong, you can get all sorts of cards with the incorrect names. I just have a couple of examples here. I have a rare Trap Hole, which is a Fusion Gate, and a rare Legendary Fisherman, which is a reinforcement of the army. A few of my friends have different ones. A friend of mine has a limited removal that's called Penguin Soldier, which I'm forever trying to get off of him, and hopefully I'll eventually get it, but these are my 2 examples of incorrect names that I have. I don't really have any others. Then we move on to lack of names. Lack of names is something that I guess you could vary into 2 categories. Cards which are completely non-stamped, and that is where you can't actually see any evidence of them trying to stamp the name. In my opinion, are the more valuable and better nameless cards, and then the ones that have been stamped are a lot less valuable in my opinion, because it just shows that it was out of ink rather than them not actually stamping it at all. So the first one I have is a French Starliege Paladinamo, which actually has no name. The name is not even stamped, they've not even tried, it hasn't come across, and if you can see on the card, I'm actually going to pull out the sleeve, there is no indentation at all in the name box where they will have tried to stamp it. So this is one of my favourite nameless misprints. Another one which I also consider to be part of the nameless misprint collection is this Dragon Master Knight. As you'll see on it, it has a tiny, tiny bit of its name up at the top. You can see it shining there. But as you will see, there is no evidence of stamping on the card. There is no indentation, which you'll see on the next card, which I'm going to show you. So there's no indentation on the card to indicate they tried to stamp the name, but there's a tiny bit of the D there. But those are two of my nameless cards, and then the final nameless card I have is a Destiny Hero Defender, and you can already see that it has actually been stamped. I'll pull it out of the sleeve to try and get a better look. There we go, hang on. If we focus, if you look at that, you can see Defender there. If I can try and get the light on it, there's a trick to this. You saw it there. You saw it earlier. There you go. You can kind of. There we go. Destiny Hero Defender. So this is one of the ones that has been stamped. I've seen a couple more of these like this, and I feel that those are the ones that are valued a little less, but it's still a cool oddity to have. Now we're going to move into offsets. This is another collection that in some cases can fall into incorrect naming, but offsets is another thing that's actually my favourite kind of misprint. When they stamp the foil or stamp the names in when they're offset. So you'll see what I mean as we go through this. So we're going to start off with a Cloudian Sheep Cloud, which is just instantly apparent to see in the level star and in the attribute. The attribute and the level star and even the ultimate rare on the picture have been stamped off to the right, but the name is in the correct position. This is just a cool thing that I picked up of a friend for £3 about a year ago. And I just instantly really wanted it, and you can see that the hollow is off of the clouds, it is offset. It's a bit trippy to look at because it's on the cloud, so you kind of really don't see it that much. But there are other ultimate rares in which it is very, very apparent. But this was my biggest example of offset ultimate rares. So yeah, Cloudian Sheep Cloud was that. Then moving on to, this is something tragic that I picked up at regionals on Saturday, the Kempston regionals. And this is a misprinted Jinzo. As you can see, the foil is clearly printed below the picture and moves down out of the box down to here. But what you'll also see is the fact that the card is in terrible condition. If I actually take it out of the sleeve, you'll be able to see it's very, very flimsy here. It's very, very damaged. And this breaks my heart because it's such a cool misprint. It's a Pharaoh's Servant Jinzo. And it's in such poor condition, but oh well, it's still a very cool misprint. You can see that the foil is definitely screwed up, it's definitely not where it's meant to be, so that's something cool, that's a cool offset. And then we have some offset names. We have the infamous Leviathan Dragon that a lot of you guys have talked about on my videos before. This is something that Lisa the Righteous picked me up as a Valentine's present, off of iPokemon. He then found another one of these, he has a second one now. But this is pretty cool. Number 17 Leviathan Dragon with its name clearly completely out of the box. Then the Gear Mark II. Some people have talked about in my deck profiles when I profile Gear. This is a Giano which is just about climbing out of the box. It's not that impressive, but it's coming out. And then a misprint which has recently cropped up in the new Gold series that I've seen people starting to collect sets of, and I'm actually going to try and get the set of as well, is the name out of the box in the Gold secrets, well, the secret name Golds. I have yet to see an example of this on an actual Gold secret, like the TCG exclusive, well, the exclusive to the set Gold series cards, like BLs and Dragon Necro, but a friend of mine says he has one, so I'm going to see if I can get that in for the purposes of a video, see if that actually exists. A friend of mine also has a Crane that's like this, but I think there is a full set of Gold rares that have been stamped like this incorrectly, so I'm going to try and build the set. Then finally, we're going to move on to the biggest offset, or I guess miscut in my collection, and that is this Naturia Pineapple. It's actually Naturia Pineapple, the bottom half, first edition, and the top half is a mystical ref panel, and this is part of a set which has been going around, and of course the most expensive one is the Pot of Duality, but I've seen a fair few people with cards from this set. I'm not sure how many complete sets of these misprints there are, but I would definitely be very interested to try and find some more of these. I'm really hunting for the other half of this Naturia Pineapple. I'm also going to be hunting for, of course, the Pot of Duality, which is the biggest one. But I've had this for about 2 years now. Lisa the Raichu picked it up a while ago and then eventually traded it to me. But it's really, really nice. And it's definitely one of my favourite pieces in my collection, because I love Naturia Pineapple. But that's that. And then we'll move on to the last card, which is something I just picked up at the regionals on Saturday as well. And that is this test card from Legacy the Valiant. I've seen a fair few Afwerpen cards, which I believe is the Dutch word for test, from what I've told. There's also been a Moondragon Quia, which was just like this, which was not hollow, had no name stamped, and said Afwerpen, and had this dark strip along the side. Other than that, it's completely correct. The card is completely correct. Its effect is the effect of Bujinte Tsukuyomi. Everything on the back is accurate and correct. It's just the front card has been printed as a test card. You can get more drastic test cards, which are the color strip cards that you will find on the internet. But this is another cool test card that a friend of mine pulled from a Legacy the Valiant Deluxe Edition. So this is pretty cool. So that brings me to the end of all of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Misprints I have. Actually, I do have one other miscut that I should show off, which I forgot about, but it is in my binder. Which some of you have seen in my trade binder video, but I'll get it out again, just because I don't want to leave it out of the video. I have this Legendary Six Samurai Shien in Ulti with a huge bottom end and a no top end, which is a cool miscut. But that was the only other thing that I forgot to show you guys before. And that brings us to the end of this video. So I hope you've enjoyed this misprint profile, this misprint review, and the last things I want to show you through are two things from actually Lisa the Raichu's collection, which are the two Pokemon misprints she has. Pokemon doesn't get nearly as many misprints as Yu-Gi-Oh! Because its printing isn't as complex. It doesn't stamp on holographic names or things like that, so they're a bit harder to find. But what she does have is a packet crimped Bidoof trading card, which you will see on the bottom end there, if I can get it to focus. Kind of like my Mimic. Yep, the bottom end was crimped in a pack. And then the only other one we can show off is this miscut Simisear. The top end has almost no yellow edge, and the bottom end has a huge yellow edge if we compare it to the Bidoof, which is the standard size for a yellow edge. But yeah, otherwise that brings me to about the end of this misprint video, this misprint profile. I hope you've enjoyed this tour through my very modest misprint collection, my very small misprint collection. But yeah, that brings me to about the end of this. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Let me know what misprints you have, and if you can, please make a video. If you can still do video responses, please put a video response to this, or link a video in the description to your misprints, and also go check out General PDW for more misprints. Otherwise, that's about everything I wanted to show you guys. This has been Jamiethekid00's, and I will see you guys next time with some more Yu-Gi-Oh! Related content. See you soon. Bye-bye.